Hello, my dear good students. We heartily welcome you for this lesson Metals and Non-Metals. I am here, Pradeep sir, to teach you a lesson Metal and Non-Metals. As we have begun with the yesterday, the physical properties. We have seen the physical properties of both metals and non-metals. Today we are going to see the second most important part, that is the chemical properties of the metals. The chemical properties of the metals where cannot be seen just can be verified or rechecked by doing the chemical reactions. How the metals will react with other elements in the nature. Among that, today we are going to see the first chemical properties of the metals as well as non-metal is the reaction of metals with oxygen. Metals when reacts with oxygen will give metal oxide. Means when metals are burned in presence of air, they will produce a metal oxide gas or metal oxidic nature. They convert into metal oxide. So we preferably know that the metal oxides are basic in nature. Whenever or whichever one metal if you take, when we burn it, it will produce respective metal oxides. For an example, if you take magnesium, in the first part of the lesson and the first page only have seen the burning of magnesium ribbon, which will produce white powder with a dazzling fire. It gives that when we burn a magnesium, the magnesium which is in solid state or magnesium wire which is we have taken as a solid and reacts with the atmospheric oxygen which is in gaseous state, and on burning it will produce a magnesium oxide as a product. So we consider this here, the magnesium oxide which is formed, it is a white powder, ash like powder which is produced with a dazzling flame. Here they might ask the question, what happens when magnesium ribbon burnt in presence of air? They will give, you have to give the answer, it will burn with dazzling white flame. Here we can see in the equations, magnesium is a solid and oxygen is in gaseous state, both to be considered as the reactants, and the product which is produced, it is a magnesium oxide, that too produced in solid state. And symbolical equations are also given below. They indicate the state of the reactants as well as state of the products after the reaction. So in this way, when metals react with an oxygen or metals on burning, they will give metal oxide of respective metals. So very important for us to know whichever metal you take, when you burn the metals, then after burning the metals, we will get metal oxide. So it might be present in solids stated metal. When burns with the gaseous stated oxygen, it will give a magnesium oxide like metal oxide solid substances. If you see some more examples for the reactions, the one thing is already have seen magnesium, the first one, magnesium reacts with oxygen, it will give magnesium oxide. At the same time, we have to look after the balancing the equations. Here 2 moles of magnesium burns on oxygen, it will give magnesium oxides. In the same way, copper and oxygen, when we burn a copper or copper wire, it will produce copper oxide. And then it will produce a copper oxide, which is also will be in the solid state. So the copper which is in solid and reacts with or burns with a gaseous oxygen which is present in the air, and it produces copper oxide. Another example, if you take third one, is iron. When iron reacts with oxygen, it will produce iron oxide. So see the equations given below. The balanced equations are given below for you to make you to understand. In this manner, in this ratio, they will react or they will produce products like magnesium oxide, copper oxide, iron oxide. Not only this, some other metals, if you take aluminum, aluminum will react with oxygen and to form to produce aluminum oxide. If you take other silver and gold, these will not very easily react with atmospheric oxygen. That's why most of the time we are using silver gold in the, especially in case of ornaments, and that's why their values is very much. So in detail again, if you see some more examples, like if you take the sodium or on burning we will get the sodium oxide, and potassium on burning we will get potassium oxide. But when we consider the special things of this, when these metal oxides, the nature of these metal oxides are said to be basic oxides. Means those are in basic properties. They will show a basic nature. Means how can we say that one? Means when these metal oxides will come and react with water, they will produce respective metal bases. I share an example in the given here above. The sodium on burning gives sodium oxide, and another times next time we have reaction with the water, it will give sodium hydroxide. Potassium reacting with the oxygen or burning will give potassium oxide, and on the reaction with the water it will give potassium oxide. Oxide will convert to potassium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxides are both the bases. Hence, some metals oxides show the acidic as well as basic properties. Hence, they are called as amphoteric oxide. Like examples, aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. Apart from these, remaining almost all metal oxides are basic in nature except aluminium and zinc oxide. Aluminium and zinc oxides will show the two characters of acidic as well as basic properties. For example, Al2CO3 or Al2O3. Al2O3 is an aluminium oxide. When reacts with an hydrochloric acid, aluminium oxide on reaction with the hydrochloric acid, it will give aluminium chloride with water molecule. It indicates that aluminium oxide will be acts as an base with this reaction and acid and to produce salt. And the same manner, zinc oxide ZnO plus reacts with an H2SO4 and it will give an salt, that is ZnSO4 plus water. So it is clearly says us that aluminium oxide and zinc oxides are considered to be amphoteric oxides. Here one question will arise: what are amphoteric oxides? Give examples. The amphoteric oxides are which exhibit both acidic as well as basic. This is about the reaction between the metals and oxygen. Now, if you consider for non-metals when reacts with water or when reacts with oxygen or when they will burn, they will produce oxides. They too produce oxides, but these oxides are acidic in nature. So here in the chart you can see that reaction of non-metals with oxygen on burning are called as combustion, and when reacts with the oxygen they will produce non-metal oxide. For example, carbon plus O2 produce carbon dioxide, sulfur plus O2 produce sulfur oxide, but carbon dioxide and sulfur oxides both are in acidic nature. My dear students, thank you very much for hearing this lesson. So very important, share these messages to your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.